Oh, yeah, I got the double up and everything. Oh, man. How everybody doing today? And welcome to another episode of Mentally Ill with Dez Cortez. I, of course, am Dez Cortez. And usually to my left, be my homie Sonny Boy, but his son has his track meet today, his final track meet or whatever of the year. So he'll be out doing the daddy thing. One thing I'm gonna start doing that I don't really do much is just kind of share a little bit of my life with the different people who out there, because everybody's saying like, man, people don't really know you. So even as I said, track and field was something that was very near and dear to me when I was in high school. I was definitely one of the best runners and one of the fastest people in the state. So just those little trinkets of stuff I'm gonna drop, like especially about stuff about the zoo and stuff about my football career, my plays, my movies, all that. Boy, you better ask somebody. You better ask. Blue chip list. You better ask somebody. Michigan All-Star team. You better ask somebody. Yeah. Full scholarship to a Division I college. You ain't gonna get no clap. Horrible. And of course, everybody remember the voice in the darkness over here tearing things up. But I'm gonna catch up just with a few things from a few weeks ago. But I'm trying something which I've already done before, but I'm gonna do it with my viewers. So I just recently had my last drink, which was Memorial Day, and I will not be drinking again. I've already done this before, as far as for a year and a half or so, but I think it's about time that I do it again. I think I was very productive at that time of my life, and when I'm around drinkers 24/7, so it ain't like I can just go out and have a drink and be cool and then go and have like a regular week. No, every day it'll be somebody knocking at my door like, come sip. So so all my viewers who are trying something new or doing anything, or if you would like to do it with me, make sure you chime in with me, let me know. But we gonna stop drinking for a while. I'm gonna stop drinking for a while, see what I do. Purify that soul. Man, what else happened? Had a great time in Atlanta at the Mental Awareness Podcast Fest. Am I saying right? Black Effect Network podcast, right? And that was a great time. I got a chance to see a lot of other people who've been doing some great things with their podcasts, talking about mental illness and other things like that. So that was dope, man. That was one of the highlights of these last few months or so. Man, anything else new? Nope. Let's speed up, because today this show is going to be very informative. It's going to touch a lot of people. And it's very important that people hear these words, people understand what's happening, and they get opportunity to hear it from who it happened from. You know, a lot of times we'll see movies about somebody's life and then they'll interview the actor, and those type of things. But we get the opportunity to meet the person who has overcome so much, and I'm not going to give it away. So I want everybody to please give a warm applause and welcome to J. Pumpkin Ruff.
Hey, y'all.
What it do?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Pull that mic up a little bit closer. I want to make sure that they hear everything that you have to say.
Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. A little nervous.
Good.
But I'm ready.
You know how we get over getting nervous?
What's that?
All right. We gonna play a little game. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you a school. You gotta tell me if it's on the east side or if it's on the west side.
All right.
You ready?
All right, let's go.
Persian.
East.
Denby.
East.
Redford.
West.
All right, cool. You got the three. Why you say Denby like East? Denby don't even look like it's supposed to be on the east side. It's so beautiful though. Like, that's a beautiful school.
Is it?
Like it is. No, it is. And you ain't seen Denby before. Like I was expecting, because we played Denby, and I was expecting to go there and see, like, because everybody like Denby. I saw that school like, this is beautiful, and it's just like you drive through there and then it's like east side Denby. And it's just, I don't know. It is like, woo, and it's like east side.
So you don't like it belong, huh? You don't like it belong over there, huh?
No.
That's what's up.
No, not at all. And even the way that it, the whole atmosphere, whatever they say, and how bad it is, it don't look like that. So I guess that's what's going on the inside. So, okay. So we gonna take them through this.
Okay.
But we gonna start from the beginning, because I really, really want to be able to show people how we got there. You know what I mean? Because I just don't want to jump to the meat of it. I want people to be able to see what was going on until we got to this funk. All right?
Makes sense.
Until everything happened.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna tell people right now, if you're triggered by sexual things to younger women, different things like that, you might not want to watch this show. Rape, anything like that. If you're triggered by any of that, don't watch the show. This show, people tell me I gotta start telling people, because I've triggered a few people already on some stuff. So, because it's a live show. If it wasn't a live show, I wouldn't have to do it. But just understand, if you're triggered by it, please. I'm not trying to get you there, because they they've been on my head. I ain't lying, they've been on my. But that's a good thing, because people are listening. People are preparing themselves to get better mentally.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes. So first, introduce yourself to the people. Who are you?
Well, I am J Ruff, or J Punkin Ruff. I'm a mother of two. I'm a girl mom. I am a student and teacher of life, I like to say. And I'm a founder of the Rough Look Fit. Which is
Rough Look Fit.
Yes, my athleisure brand.
Okay.
I just released. I've been working on it since 2017, but this was my year. I just took that leap of faith. I was like, it's time.
All right, so let's see. I want to fit it because I want people to see the brand, but then understand what it means. You know what I mean? So talk about it just a little bit.
Okay.
And then after everybody hear your story,
yeah,
we can talk about it again. Okay. And it's going to mean something totally different to them after that.
It's going to hit different.
Yeah, it's going to hit way different. It's going to hit way different after that.
Yeah, so the story of the brand first, right?
The story of the brand.
Okay, so the story of the brand, the idea sparked in my mind around like the year 2014. I was in school at the time, getting a criminal justice degree. Just to do it, I felt like I was pressured to graduate on time, and I had got kicked out of school. But it was just something just to do, just to say I did it. However, I found myself just like, going back to the fashion world, just dipping off into that. And I found myself wanting to be a fashion brand. And so in 2017, I went and got my name registered. 2021, maybe I got an LLC. And then last year, I decided to make it an athleisure brand because originally it was going to be a women's clothing line.
Okay.
But ended up changing it to make it an athleisure brand, and then bring it up to date 2024. I made my first purchase to grab some inventory in February, and I've been doing pop-up shops and events ever since.
Dope. I wish your story could, like, everybody who bought it could, like, get a hologram, like, of you talking about that. Or we don't have to put, like, a scan on there. You know what I mean? So people can be like, boop, like, oh, they're going to buy more for sure.
All right.
For sure. All right. So.
For sure.
Here we go. We're going to take them down this rabbit hole. Again, we're telling this story to hopefully help anyone who has been through your situation, and maybe not telling anyone, or any other situation that, you know what I mean, that you've made it through.
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk about the ways that what you had to do in order to get out of that and to be where you are today, sitting here talking.
Right.
Because it's a miracle, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with the childhood.
Okay.
All right. What was the childhood like?
Well,
Was it like that?
It can be like that.
No.
I'm gonna say the best of both worlds in a way.
Okay.
I come from a 3-parent household. They not all together.
Oh, okay.
I have a mom.
Because, you know, these days.
Yeah, let me clarify that. Disclaimer.
Yeah, clarify that.
My mom.
These days, I know a nigga with 3 mamas.
So, of course, I got my biological parents, which are my mom and my dad. My mom she go by Cha-Cha. That's my rough side. That's where the rough line came from. But my dad, he's my biological dad, but then I also was blessed with a dad in my life since I was 2 months old. Okay. And he's been a big part of my life ever since. He's like, that's my daddy's.
Straight.
I'm my daddy's child on him.
Okay.
So it's just the blessing of just having 3 parents.
Okay. And you said they call her Cha-Cha.
Yeah, so my mom, Cha-Cha, she was like the strict parent. She didn't play.
Okay.
She also kept me like in activities, like you was saying, like track. Every year every weekend we couldn't just go where we wanted to go. She had something lined up for us to try, just to test the waters and experience life and see if we liked this stuff, or what was for us and what wasn't. Then my dad, that I said is my dad by blessings. He was like that mentor. He always speak positivity, encouragement words. He poured into you that type of way. And then my other dad, not to bash him, but he was very inconsistent in my life. I was his oldest child of, it's 11 of us. However, my siblings by him, and we all look alike, and we still have a good bond.
That's
It's
good.
life.
Okay.
Those were like pretty like in general like how my life was, but when it comes to like my dark times,
You say, like, what was the first? Okay. Do you remember the first dark day for you? Was it a build up, or was it just something that? It was a few things, but.
Okay, so mine is a lot of bit different.
Okay.
So, my dark times, I'm gonna say it's a build up collectively, because there was multiple different occasions that took place.
Okay. That
kind of added to it. So the first one, I was molested when I was 2 years old. Don't quite remember that. I had a scar on my body that reminded me that I later got covered up with a tattoo. The reason why I knew about that is because being a female and being a woman, you have to get checkups at certain ages and stuff like that. And for me, it had to happen a lot earlier due to what happened. So it was that situation. That was the first one. The one that really took me down was when I was getting molested by a family member. To briefly go over it, it was something I kind of kept to myself because of it was a part of family. This was a family that I was around almost every day, grew up with like that side. You know, I said I have 3 different parents, so I come from a huge family.
Right, gotta be right.
However, I pick and choose who my family is because of the experiences I've been through. But the second one was something that I can remember. I can remember the things I went through, what it made me feel like. I had to go to court about it as well. And pretty much my family took his side without even hearing mine. And for me, at that time, living in that moment, it was very hard to understand, process, and even get through. Later down the line, I ended up, my mom ended up reading like a diary where
hold on, before you go to that, if you don't mind. So you had to go to court on that, really, with like almost no family support, kind of, sort of. No, not none, but a lot of family who you felt.
I can count on one hand how many. But my mom, she read something she had read a diary, because at that time I used to put my emotions in my diary, and it was a point in time where she read a diary and she seen what I was going through, and then she made me go to court about it. Well, I'm sorry, I kind of got to take it back a little bit, because with the second incident, I did have to go to court with that. But before it even got to the court part, it was happening from like the ages of 7 through, I want to say 10. Then, when I was a freshman in high school, we had moved away from this family member. The reason why, I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I don't mean to be, but I want to take it back, because when this was happening, you know, like families, when parents have to go to work and everybody is sent to the grandmother's house and stuff.
Right.
A lot of that times back in the day, I can't speak for now for people, but a lot of that times you never knew what was really going on.
Oh, for real. That's
and so I will write that down in my diary. Later down the line, my mama found out. But when I got in high school, that same person tried to do that again, and it put me down the deepest depression period of my life. Like, I never thought I would make it out of it. Just going through all of that.
Man, like, so after you kind of thought did you think you were out of it? Did you think it would happen again? Was that
No, I didn't think it would happen again. I thought I was out of it. So from the 7 to the 10 period, those ages, it was happening, and I wasn't saying anything. I would just write it in my diary. Then me and my mom and my brother, we moved out of our grandmother's house. And then I thought I was good. You know, I would still see that cousin at family functions and stuff like that, but I thought I was safe because it wasn't happening no more. You know, ever since we moved, it was kind of like out of sight, out of mind, I guess. One night my mom asked, can he take me and my brother to school the following morning, and we was spend the night at his house with his mom and his siblings. And he attempted to try it again, where he was extremely drunk at that time. I was sitting in the basement, and he was just rubbing on my leg. He got so drunk that he had to go throw up, and I just didn't go back to sleep. Went to school completely out of it, just crying all day and stuff like that. But at that point, I had wrote it in my diary because I was angry, and I was kind of blaming my mom, like, well, how come she don't know this is happening? And I never told her. So when she read it in a diary, she made me go to court with it. The outcome of that was just like, oh, she's lying, without even hearing a side.
Did they make you take the stand?
Yeah, so when I went to court, we had to pretty much relive everything, explain what happened. The judge ended up giving him probation. Pretty much nothing really happened, probably due to the length of how long it waited to come about. However, I think that was the beginning of my black sheep days when it came out, but it was like the journey of understanding what I knew, what I knew to be wrong, what I knew to be right, and what the reactions I was receiving at that time. And coming from a family, like, you know, you growing up in, you're like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. This is what's happening when I'm telling the truth. So it was just a journey of, like, just learning to know myself, understand myself, and, you know. You know,
with you know, everything that's going on, when people getting exploited right now, people showing the different things that's happening, it's just crazy how many women have gone through these things and just never said anything. But when you talk about your story, I understand that. Who want the family who they loved all these years to turn their back on them? Who want to be in court telling on their cousin? Even though, you know what I mean? Who wants to relive that? Who want, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wish it didn't have to happen, but everything that those young ladies have to go through in order to be able to just tell is just unbelievable sometimes to me.
Yeah.
So I want any person, any young lady, and we still got a lot to talk about, a whole lot. This is the tip of the iceberg, but I want to tell the young ladies that may be going through it and just super nervous about the outlook of it and what's going to happen, to understand that you must tell. Like, these things have to stop happening to you.
Yeah, unnormalize these lies and these secrets. That's
It just has to stop happening.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yeah.
You know, and I just had to stop and say that. Just it's worth it. It's what I'm trying to say.
It most definitely is.
And
I'm sorry.
you was talking about the dark time. Let's when you first got into your first dark time, like, when did you see a change in yourself?
When did I see a change in myself? I guess it was when it came out.
Okay.
Because it was one thing to keep it to myself and to just chuck those feelings in. But it was another thing for it to come out and it be the truth. And then the way everything played out, it wasn't the right thing, but I had 3 suicidal attempts after that, during that phase.
And I wanted to slow down on that for a second. Because a lot of people suffer from suicidal thoughts. So let's just go back to the first one.
Okay.
Because in order to get there, like, mentally, man, it's like where you have to be mentally in order for you to get to that place. So just, when did you what was the first feeling like? Was it just like I'd be better off, or would it be like the world be better off? Because I heard a bunch of different things. So, like, what was it like for you?
I'm sorry, I get a little sensitive. It doesn't bother me to talk about it because I feel like people need to talk about it because it's too hidden.
No.
But I do still get emotional with it.
Let them flow. You are perfectly fine. I'm gonna get you some tissue in a second.
It's okay. I don't know. To me, it was really like, for me, it was with that darkest moment of occurring, and without people even hearing the story from both sides before they made a decision, and it being my family in particular that it came from, it was so hard to stomach and understand. Like, how y'all mad at me? Do they even know the story? How is they even? And I don't know. I guess it became, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it didn't make me feel good that I know I was telling the truth. We even went to court about it. It was like facts and everything. I guess it just made me realize that we were truly on 2 different sides of a coin, but different sides. And that's okay. But going through that, it took a while for me to understand that it's okay to stand on how you feel and your truth.
Good. So, where were you the first time? Like, how were you going to do it? Like, did you plan it out before? Did it just happen? How was it?
The first suicidal attempt, I didn't plan it out. It was just kind of like everything was going on. It was still fresh. As far as the court thing kind of made it like the shift. Like, it was like, oh my God, like everybody know now, like this is what's going on. So it just kind of like, it was just like a overwhelming feeling. I was just like, if I just out myself, maybe it'd be better and go away. I was in the basement. I had a 2-family flat. My mom was we was living in a 2-family flat at the time.
How old were you two, if you don't know?
Don't get me wrong, because some things are a blur with like the ages and the times, but the first suicidal attempt.
Around, like, you know.
Okay, so it had to be, I was in high school.
Okay.
The suicidal attempt started in high school.
Okay.
Because when we went to court, that was my freshman year in high school. So that was like the triple domino effect of the suicidalness. The first time, so I had a 2-family flat, and in the basement, it was like, you know, those big old poles that be in the basement to keep the house up. Ended up wrapping a long orange extended cord around the pole, and I tried to hang myself. My dog, I don't know, no longer have him because he ran away, but he saved my life. I keep barking. He kept barking, and he kind of drew attention to my mom, and he saved me right in time. The second time.
1 second before you go to the second time. Do you remember how you felt right after that, or like I know someone also too who tried to commit suicide and it didn't work, and I remember him telling me he felt even worse because he felt like he was a failure even at that. He really had to be watched 24/7 after that. So what was it like for you, like right after the first time?
After the first time, because with suicidal attempts, they're gonna put you in a psych ward.
Okay.
It's up to you depending on your stay there. So as I was in the first psych ward, basically I felt like the people that were there was there for the wrong reasons. They wanted to talk to me, and I felt like it really wasn't. Either they didn't know how to help, or their help wasn't enough. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't genuine. You know, that's how I felt the first time. When I think about when I was first in the psych ward, we were sitting at a table like this, and so it's everybody here trying to talk about me or talk to me about what's going on. But here we are having to pack so much stuff. On top of that, half of these people sitting at this table is from the family who don't believe me and where it happened within. So what I look like, explaining what I went through, you would never understand me, to be honest. Yeah. At that time, I used to choke over my words, you know? It just felt like y'all not gonna understand, even if I tried. Even if I set it up in black and white, y'all still wouldn't get it.
And some people just don't want to.
Some people didn't want to. Some people didn't know how to understand it. Some people, that wasn't their normal, so how can they help you? You know what I'm saying? Some people's situation worse, so they feel like, oh, you all right.
Do you remember how long you had to stay in there?
It was, I don't remember, but I want to say maybe 2 weeks. See, the thing is, with that time, I felt like I needed it because I was going through, like I said, it was such a huge battle for me, fighting with what I knew, what I felt inside, and then what the majority, when I opened my eyes outside of me, felt. And that, it was a crazy collide. With the second one, I tried to jump off the Southfield Freeway. A car ended up riding past. She seen me. she started praying. And I kept telling her, like, just please leave me alone. Just keep driving. I promised her not to call the police and, like, the psych ward. And I promised that if she didn't tell, that I wouldn't do it again. I did it one last time. I didn't go to the psych ward for the second one because it was like a don't tell, don't ask. The last time I did it, I felt like, okay, so the last time I did it, it was more so like a cry for help in a way, but I'm asking for help because I'm trying not to give up and feeling like I tried to do everything I could before I got to that point of jumping in the Detroit River. And once I remember being at like my prom date at the time house, talking to them, trying to be around good vibes, good spirits. It wasn't working. I asked somebody to take me downtown. I made it seem like somebody was gonna be there with me, so he didn't think he was just dropping me off. A guy I called my best friend at the time, I had him take me downtown to the Riverwalk, and I just sat there. I thought I wanted to just be by some fresh air. I didn't go down there intentionally to jump in the river. I literally felt like I needed help, but I didn't know who to go to for help. So I went downtown in hopes of getting some fresh air. As I'm sitting down there, I just was in my emotions, and I tried calling, a few people I had went to school with, and it wasn't really clicking like it needed to. And I tried to was like, I guess in my way, saying my goodbyes to everybody, because I just felt like I just couldn't do it no more, because that battle with what I know and what it was just too unbearable. And how do I get through this? Because it was really messing with mentally. And so I ended up asking these two guys that was standing around fishing, can I use one of their phones? It's so crazy how the world works. One of the guys who phone I used, I asked him to use his phone. I made a phone call, I think, to my mom. She didn't answer. And so I just jumped in the water. When I jumped in the water, now, prior to me jumping in the water, my mom, a part of her keeping us busy, she made us do swim classes. But I don't feel like there was no amount of swim classes that could have saved me from the Detroit River. Yeah. When I jumped in it, like, I felt like there was like a shift, in a way, a spiritual shift. I know it's kind of weird, but
no, nothing weird about that.
Like, once I jumped in the water, attempting to kill myself, I kind of like went blank. It was like I was laying down, in the water, but it's like I kind of just went blank. And in that time I went blank, it was weird. I guess it was like a spiritual, like God, like just having a moment with me, or me having a moment with God. Mm-hmm. When I got out the water, like maybe like to me it felt like 15 minutes later. When I got out the water, of course, like the guards in the water was coming to get me, to rescue me. Went to another psych ward. When I went to that psych ward, I felt like they make you take pills and stuff. Those pills that they take due to what you did, to get in there. Mm-hmm. It's not, to them, it's the best thing for you. But for me, it's not the best thing for me, because those pills have long-term effects where it can cause you to have memory loss or whatever the heck. So I knew I didn't want to take them, but I knew I had to take them while I was in there so that they can see that I'm being compliant and get up out of there, right? But it was that third time when I jumped in that water that kind of gave me that shift, like, okay, Jeanette, how many times we gonna have this, you're gonna try to take yourself out based off of what somebody else did? It began the start of a process of trying to look at things different and try to see the good in everything. I made a promise to myself that I would never try to self-harm myself, because the first and the second time I used to also slice my wrists and stuff. I even had a best friend at the time who called herself trying to tell my family, who was also the same family, again, that caused this stuff. So what are you... Like, it was crazy, but, like, now I'm so, like, it makes me emotional, but I feel like people need to hear and feel comfortable enough to talk about their pain, their problems, because it may not seem normal, but you'd be surprised how many people go through similar or like stuff, or just the fact of just being stuck and not know how to unstuck yourself. I don't know what I did to unstuck myself. I just know that last time I made a promise and I said, no, we're not doing this again. We're going to have to figure out a different route. And whatever that's going to be, we're gonna figure it out as we go, you know? But it's so hard. It was so hard to get just to that point.
Right. So, when it finally clicked for you, and it's dope, and I thank you for going through that with us and sharing that. Let's talk about what happened after it clicked.
Okay.
This is the dope part.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand, too, things that can happen, like, right under your nose. Like, this is my niche through marriage. I've known you since you were... I don't know how.
Right. So long, I feel like.
I didn't hear nothing about none of this until the last incident. So just imagine. I'm like, whoa, y'all, no, hell no. Y'all like what? Like,
she always smiling. She always chilling, being a kid somewhere.
That shit blew my mind. I ain't gonna lie. And I instantly knew something was up after that, of course. But I guess that's when your turnaround was. So I got a really good opportunity to see you as you grew. Yeah. Which has been dope as hell. So keep going. So tell us what happened right after. Oh, you got to talk about the girls and all that too.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
When did so like what happened? Like, okay, right after it snapped, and you said that you weren't hurting yourself anymore. What do you remember the first thing that you did physically, or that you was like, okay, I'm going the right direction?
So that was my last suicide attempt was probably 2009 or 2010 ish, probably 2010. So I had my first daughter in 2011. So first it was the promise. And then sitting through that, I made that promise before, as I'm going through that psych ward that time. And it was just, like just putting those fears aside, like, okay, we got to chuck it up, do what we got to do, because it got to be a different route. God ain't going to keep saving me these many times, for nothing. So let's figure out, let's tap into that. Let's see what that is. Let's see what that's about. So basically, over all the years up until now, when I reflect on it now, it's like you'll feel like life be happening to you, but it really be happening for you to grow, for you to learn off of, for you to thrive, for it to strengthen you. Because had I not went through that, it's crazy. Maybe I ain't want to have to go through that, but don't nobody get to pick their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay. My thing became, let's monetize, like, let's turn all of our purpose, like our passions. What do I like to do? Like, I used to be a people's pleaser. I just, started embracing what it feel like for Jeanette to make a decision and stop the world, and still give off that love, that caring, that nurturing person that I am. Because even with all of that happened, one thing people used to always tell me is like, "You so nice, you're so nice. Oh, you so nice to people." Like, no, I'm not. Like, I bleed, I hurt, I go through the same stuff everybody else do. But I don't feel the need to put my bull stuff on the next person. For what? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather heal the next person. I'd rather talk, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know what it was. It was just making, like, not trying to see the negative sides of anything else, because I knew what that was like. I used to, like, going through them, like, the second time when I did that, I used to write on my face, like, you're ugly. Like, I used to really feel crazy. So I just, all the things that I didn't like about myself, I literally did the opposite. Like, no, fuck that. I'm sorry. Forget that.
you
We're
can
going to
continue.
tonic stuff all the way. Everything tonic. Even when you feel like, and I ain't going to sit here and act like I'm just so perfect. Nothing bad happened moving forward. No. Every day is just a better day, a different day, a new day to just keep trying that positive behavior. And then, so for me, right after that promise, I had my first child. Oh my God, that brought me so much love. Like, I didn't know how much love I needed it from my child until I had her. And even just becoming a fresh mom, and I've been through a lot of stuff. Even
it has to be a moment of when you have that child, like, it's all worth it.
yes, it's worth it. You
Like,
realize in
if
the end it's worth
any
it.
of those attempts would have went down, and how close
How close,
was each one going down,
man.
those two little girls wouldn't, you know what I mean?
They wouldn't even exist.
How dope is that? How amazing is that? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the testament of the strength that you have, I hope you don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
I hope you don't take it lightly at all.
No.
And then you also go ahead. We're gonna keep talking about that, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Another thing from my childhood, I used to be a part of 2 different church homes growing up.
Okay.
So on my mom's side, I was like into choir, and then on my dad's side, my adopted dad's side, he's not my adopted dad. That's my dad.
Right.
He override the other one for real. But anywho, on my dad's side, his sister, who's deceased at this point, and she meant so much to me. I feel like she's my spiritual guardian angel in real life, even after death. But when she was alive, I feel like she was a part of my on earth spiritual team while she was alive and while she's not alive. And that's so crazy. But her instilling, like, she introduced me to like liturgical dance, and I found like a love for like music or words. And like, I'm big on quotes and meanings and powerful messages. So with liturgical dance, when she introduced that to me, it was like my outlet to try to heal or release pain and stuff. So I feel like her putting that into my life, that carried out into even now, like where I can always go back to her advice and words and teachings and be like, okay, we still got hope.
What's your views now? Totally on like mental illness, on life, on earth. I mean, everything. Like, after going through that, feeling those feelings, seeing the, the different lives that you've had. What's your feeling about mental illness right now?
Mental illness is real, but it's not something that you can avoid. Like, mental illness, I think, goes down to a person individually, like getting down to the root, the ugly, the good, the in-between, and really knowing and learning yourself. Like, learning thyself is the main thing. And then learning how to be peaceful or add peace to it and utilize your people in the mean. Like, I feel like life, I look at it as like a canvas. And I feel like we can just, like, it's up to us individually to paint the life we want. And whether it's good or bad, like, we in control of that. And the more we just, like, fix our mind to be positive and do that, it can happen. Like, you just gotta weed out and you gotta establish boundaries. Establishing boundaries is a big thing, a part of mental health, because your environment, your family, your so-called friends, it could be a list of things that can add to your mental health in a good way or a bad way. But you just want to always just make that space, like, keep it clear as possible. So I just feel like I have to take time to just like attend to I read just to have a clear head. I had to make a routine, because at first I didn't even go off of routines and schedules for real. I used to just willy-nilly. Having a routine, like just having like my weekends, most people probably go out to the club or do whatever on Saturdays and Sundays. I stop the whole world, and that's only family time. You can catch me Monday through Friday doing some work or something, but just creating those spaces for yourself so you can think freely, so you can naturally be you. And then I'm big on astrology, and I feel like I feel like astrology helped keep you on the right course if you listen to the signs and stuff.
Yeah, people. I mean, but you really have to study it. That's the language of our ancient ancestors. It is, and you really got to study it. And don't think about it. I have been studying it for the past 2-3 months. And just what I've learned, just from even reading the tablets that were here way before the Bible, you know what I mean? Like what those people were going through is how they were using the stars, what was happening, how much they knew from that, how it really was things going on because what was like what the stars sent to that, all that, like cycles. You be thinking like, oh, that's just something people be saying, but no, like this goes back like what people was using the stars and what they were doing, and actually we've talked about that another day. People
I know, because it's so interesting to learn people too, though. They ain't ready.
I'm gonna lose some friends when they figure out what I know now. They're gonna be like, what? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me tell y'all the truth.
Okay.
But that's dope. I mean, it's all coming out anyway, man. It's dope. The dope type thing happening, and it all fits right in with what we're saying. And that's the amazing thing about it too. Like the things that people were saying thousands and thousands of years ago is like still happening and still occurring and still working on, which is dope. And all the calendars and stuff that they use the stars for are still like to the minute to like it's just amazing. So we definitely got to step off and start doing some research on some things and learning more stuff. So with all that being said about you, now RUFF. What's that?
Okay, so as we said earlier, I'm J Ruff. My brand is the Rough Look Fit. Rough is also an acronym. Okay. So the acronym means resilient, unique, flourishing, free spirits. And based off of the life I lived and the experiences I was dealt, I feel like I said, to go back to that, it's not what we go through, it's how we get through it, kind of. That makes the difference. And your resilience, your strength, like your remaining unique, being that free spirit person, and you gonna always flourish as long as you being good and true to you and others. It ain't no stopping you. And that's what I want to push, because I can sit here and y'all see me get naked, crying, tears not down my eyes, but I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't have thought I'd been here even just trying to. I'm starting a clothing brand and I'm not where I want to be, but the fact that I'm able to sit here and talk after I done told you what I've been through and what I tried to do to myself, that was some coward stuff. It wasn't that I was trying to take the easy route out. It was that I didn't know how to get through what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't nobody in the world that might get what you're going through. Have that time, sit alone, have that, create that spiritual safe place with your God or yours, you know what I'm saying? And be able to connect so that you can go and achieve and go after whatever it is you want to do, because you can do it. And you ain't got to be on nobody else's pace but yours.
It's so very important to create that safe place, man.
Yes,
very important. Get a place where you can listen to God, where you can meditate, which is so very important. I'm hoping, more and more of our people get into meditation and understanding the actual strength of it.
Yes. For real.
And what it can do, because it's right here for you, and it's like free money, and like nobody using it. And for me to be like, I would have never ever thought that I would be saying that like 5-6 years ago. Like, nah, man, but just after what it's done for me, I've been drinking since I've been 13 years old, like for real drinking, like for real, like almost probably down there every motherfucking day, especially in college and stuff like that. I was ridiculous. And I started meditation, I started doing things, started taking care, and then I was able to walk away from it. This is back the first time I did it. You know what I mean? Not this time. This time way easier than the first time.
Right.
This time, whatever.
Once you do it one time, you like, man.
The first time, I couldn't believe that I had that power over, because I really just was okay with that having a power over me. Like, I was cool with it. So, being able to levitate my mind. You know what I mean? Be able to do those type of
elevated.
things, levitate, all that. Because I want to levitate one day. I'm gonna do it. I'm telling you, on some Buddha shit. But
But for real.
I'm just like, I'm not lying.
I'm with you.
But those type of things, I just really think people need to hear this.
Yeah.
Some young lady who's going to be watching this, who's thinking about what you were thinking about, who might be sitting at the riverfront trying to call somebody, who may flick this on or see this on or hear about this, and who may check herself. I understand. I want you to tell the people how they can find your clothes, find your paraphernalia, find you, so they can say thank you for your, you know what I mean, all that. Please let them know.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at JRuff. That's JAE 2_RUFF. And all my other links will be up there as well at Rough Look Fit. Come DM me, talk to me. If you need a friend, I'm here. I don't mind. I also, speaking of, I'm starting a blog. I recently started. It's for women or just people. It don't even have to be women, because men need love too. I don't know why they don't have enough groups for guys, but I have a motivational daily inspiration blog called Dream Catchers. And you can just go on there, and you can go through the J Ruff webpage to get to all of them. But it's daily inspiration just to keep you going. Like, always talk that positivity into you, because ain't nobody gonna do it like you. And it's possible. We got this one day at a time. Come on now, y'all.
Yeah, you know, and somebody who broken is gonna hear that, be like, man, one day I can talk with that strength.
Yeah.
I can be that proud of myself. I can have that, my family that I love and adore,
Yeah.
and it not even be a infamous thought in the back of it. You know what I mean? Just to
Okay.
see how far life has came.
Because it ain't nothing that will take me back. Yeah, this gonna bring out. I was watching a movie.
Which one?
You was in it. I'm gonna say what
shit.
you said, because I can't think of it. It was a part 1 and a part 2. It was so good, but you said it and it
Street
stuck
Code
with
Broken.
me. Yes.
Street Code Broken. Okay.
You told one of the dudes. You told the dude daughter. I mean, that was dating your daughter. You said he was asking for advice without trying to tell you what he was going through, and he said, you said, well, let me tell you something. It ain't nothing that's gonna allow me to go back to my past for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
But if I gotta defend myself, I'm gonna defend myself.
Okay.
Defending yourself is telling your story, standing on your truth, living in your purpose. It ain't shit that, I'm sorry, it ain't nothing that's gonna take me back to my past to harm myself after making it this far.
Damn.
You gotta keep going.
How dope
You
is
can
that?
never you gotta tell your story. I know you ain't go through all of that just to not tell your story. What you doing now? What's positive you doing now? Let's talk about that.
I can feel my ancestors hustling right now. They're like,
Dancing with the
can we get it in? But
But
it's a
I
beautiful
also
thing.
wanted to say, like, I really appreciate you for allowing me to share my story, because I was struggling when it came to, I knew I wanted to work on a rough look for some time now. I just didn't know how to get my story with my brand out. And I felt like I keep having these moments where God is telling me, like, get your story out. But my biggest thing is I never wanted to
Look at that.
bash.
as soon as you said God said get my story out,
look at
sun
that.
came
Look,
shine
see?
right in your face.
That's what
Look
I'm
at that. That's what I'm
saying.
talking. What the
See?
universe be listening?
Look
I'm
at the,
telling you.
won't he do it? So I'm saying, like, I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you saw
Dez.
that sunset.
Oh, I'm not trying to bash nobody by telling my story, but I won't. When it come to me, I'm only gonna speak facts, but it's not to bash them people, because it ain't even about who did what to me. It's about what I did to get up out of it, and that's
Exactly.
what we always gotta keep the focus on you and how you gonna improve yourself. You're not in competition with the world. It's not about what this person did, what that person did. It's about your old version, straightening your old version of you, so you can see and be your newer version.
Absolutely.
And you gotta make that be whatever you want it to be.
Strive on loving yourself. I'm telling you.
For real, that's
When you first start
self-love.
loving yourself, you're going to be like, man, what the hell was I doing beforehand?
Why I ain't been doing this?
Why I ain't been doing this? It's an
Come on.
amazing thing.
Yeah.
man, again, thank you for being on here. Thank you for sharing your story. I promise you're going to help a lot more people than you're thinking right now. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And you are blessed for being here. Thank God none of that worked. And you here to share your love and joy.
Thank you so much.
To everybody, man, thank y'all again so much for being here for another episode of Mentally Ill with Dez Cortez. And just make sure you do this one thing for me. Find the God in you.
Real.
See y'all next week.